Oh, where were you, mama, when the train left the sheds? And they did my front door, wishing you were gone, I was dead. I'd eat my breakfast here, my dinner in Tennessee. I'd eat my breakfast here, my dinner in Tennessee. I wanna get me a mama, Lord, one I ain't never seen. Well, my mama told me, my papa told me too. Well, my mama told me, my papa told me too. What'd he say, boy? Sunday's women and whiskey gonna be dead of you. So you just heard Railroad Blues, which is based on a song by Memphis Minnie called Chickasaw Train Blues. And I've put a link in the video description where you can find the original. I didn't want to sing the lyrics because they're, they didn't suit me anyway. So I took some other lyrics which were connected to railroads or trains. And it's more the lyrics by Sunhouse's Depot Blues, I think. Anyway, that's not that important. So we're in standard tuning and playing out of the key of C. And I'll play the introduction very slowly. You notice also the song has a very strong bass and very strongly muted most of the time, and you have to listen carefully where I mute and where I don't mute. But listening is half the battle. It's very important that you listen. So we're going to start with a sort of G chord. We're thumbing, rap thump the 6th string on the 3rd fret and sliding down. So the index and the 3rd finger are doing all the movements here. Then we're going to an F chord, also with a thumb rap. And to a C chord. Very strong bends there. And then I mute it with my picking fingers. Up and down. And a hammer on. Very original turnaround here. Normally in C you use something like this. But here Memphis Minnie found a little variation which I kind of like. There, that triplet in the 2nd beat. And sometimes I play it like that. So it's 1st string, 3rd string, 2nd string, or as in the tab, 1st, 2nd and 3rd string. You have a little choice there. It doesn't matter much in sounds. Alright, then the verse. All the verses are the same except 2 verses where we don't have a fill after the first line of lyrics. I should say, I'll discuss that later. So I'll play the verse slowly. Notice also again the strong bass. This is the key feature of the song. And also in the first line of the lyrics, so the first 3 bars, we have that rake upwards. With my index finger I'm raking the strings towards my face. So, and it's followed by a strum with the thumb downwards, and that's immediately muted. And you see in the tab I indicated the rakes with a with a line that has a little swirls in it and an arrow towards your face. Okay, here we go. And then we have a fill. All triplets. And in the third beat you'll find the bass in parentheses. You don't have to play it there. I do it. And the last beat I play with a thumb and the index. So that lick goes. Again, you will see in the tab that triangular sign. It means, well, cut it really short, mute it with your palm of your right hand. The C7 here. Then we go into an F. And the both measures are the same, except the second beat we have either triplet or not. And I sometimes interchange those measures. So I play the 6th measure, replace it. The 5th measure is then replaced by the 6th. And so I'm playing twice the triplet there in the second beat. Again, another fill, and all those little fills are interchangeable, of course. To a G and G7. Going to the F, you see in the first beat we're going from 2nd string 1st fret to the 4th fret. You can release your index finger so your hand is better capable of moving to the 4th fret 2nd string with the pinky, like that. You don't keep the finger there. It's easier to do that lift. So. And the pinky does also this. And I don't use in the wraparound F chords, as we call it, don't use a half bar here. With my index finger I'm covering 2 strings, the 1st and the 2nd string. And this position is really suited for that, because if normally you would do that, your finger like this, but if you turn it, so your finger is between the 2 strings and it's covering both. A lot of blues players play it like this, use one finger to cover 2 strings. For example, Lightning Hopkins, his E chords, he uses only 3 fingers to finger his E chords, his E7 chords. The 2nd finger covers the 5th and the 4th string, and the index the 3rd string, and he uses 3rd finger cover the 2nd string 3rd fret. Even the long A chord, he didn't use his pinky, but like this, which I find a bit awkward, but that's the way he did it. So a lot of people use one finger to cover 2 strings. It's quite handy, and here especially. Okay, so we were at the 10th measure. And that 11 bar is another fill that you can use anywhere where you play a fill. So I'll play the verse one more time and I sing softly with it so you can hear where the words are placed. I'm going down to the station and look upon the boards. I'm going down to the station and look upon the boards. Well, I couldn't see no train, couldn't hear no whistle blow. Now I used a couple other fills as well. I didn't write those out. In the second verse, engineer blew the whistle, the fireman he rang the bell. I did something like that. So when I sing bell, I'm already bending the 4th fret 2nd string and placing my index on the 3rd fret's 1st string. So one more time. Engineer blew the whistle, the fireman he rang the bell. So it's bell, and then it's followed by diminished chord, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, where I strum downwards with the tap, and a little rest, and then so it's first string, 2nd string, open 1st string, 2nd string, one more time, and this is a roll. After that, 2nd fret 3rd string, I'm doing a roll, middle, index, temp on the open 2nd, 3rd and 4th string. So that's it for that lick in the second verse. And what I did, yeah, a variation of the lick which is in the 7 bar. So I'm stretching the bend here. And this is very easy. So that's it for the fills. I did another fill, but we'll see that in the solo. And there's one, well, the alternate for the verse, which you see in the tab, the second last line, where it says alt bars 2, 3 and 4. And I was for the verse, where were you, mama, when the train left the shed? Where we keep on raking here, so to speak. And the second bar, where we have in the tab, so that's not very difficult. You just simply have to rake, and the downward strokes are really very well muted. You'll see again that triangular sign in the tab. So I'll play it one more time and sing it so you can hear it how it sounds. Where were you, mama, when the train left the shed? Long fill there. So that's it for the alternate verse. And now we have 2 cracking solos. And in the first solo, which is played after the second verse, the first 4 bars are all upstrokes with your index finger. And I'll play that now very slowly. So you see we're going to the 5th fret, 2nd string, and 3rd fret, 1st string. And I'm moving my hand a bit towards, well, away from the saddle. So I'm playing above the fretboards. And I'm placing the palm of my hand on the bass string. So only the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string are really open. You see, these are muted. So you can really, without worry of hitting the other strings, do this. And I try to tilt my nail a bit. Well, today I don't have a lot of nail, so you can hear a bit nail through this sound. And also I try to play with crescendo, so in the 2nd bar we're playing a little bit harder, in the 3rd bar even harder, and hardest in the 4th bar when we go to the C7. So first a full measure triplets, and then we're moving down 2 beats and 2 beats, and then we go to our C chord, and there I'm still resting my palm on the 6th string, but the 1st to the 5th strings are open, so they will sound. Not that 6th string. Also 4 triplets, and then 4 triplets, well sorry, 2 triplets of the C7, and I'm really whacking now. And when I did the C chords, I add my pinky to the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and my 3rd finger goes to the 6th string, 3rd fret. So the 5th string is muted by this finger, by tilting a little bit so it doesn't sound. So you have that bass sound here coming through. And so it's 2 triplets, and like that for the last 2 beats. Pretty much the same as in the accompaniment, and then we have another cool fill here, which is a variation of the 7 bar fill and the 3rd bar fill. We've taken half of each, so to speak. And you see there are little X's in the tab on the 5th line of the 5th, supposing to playing the 5th string, because well we cannot hold that 3rd fret C there, so we're playing the open A string, but we're really muffling the sound, so it's more a percussive sound than the open A string doesn't really sound that way. And again, here you have the choice of keeping the bass going or not. It will not well be noticed, I think. And that last beat of the 8th bar of the solo, I'm really muting it, because I think the next G lick is so cool that I really want to stand it out, let it stand out. So that 8th and 9th bar like this. And this lick, it's really almost horn-like. You can imagine a saxophone playing that. And notice that 2nd fret 3rd string, I'm muting that after I played it to get that da-da-da. And I'm playing with the index, middle finger, index, index, was index, middle finger, index, and middle finger. And this is the same, the F chord riff as in the introduction, more or less. we have the same turnaround as in the introduction. Then the song ends with a solo, which is kind of unusual. And again, I think it's very inventive of Memphis Minnie to play this. It's a cool bass solo, and it goes like this. So we're playing with a temp, and notice the accenting also. And here we have a bend, and I hear on the records, I hear a bend. By the way, Memphis Minnie also plays a resonator guitar on the original, which is also kind of unusual for her. And this bend here, that 4th fret, I let, by the way, my 2nd finger help with the bend, so my 2 fingers are pushing up. And not all guitars will be able to do that, because we're almost pushing to the next, a full tone. And I let the string, the 2nd string also ring a little bit, because I'm playing it with a temp. So if it's too difficult, if you don't get that sound, you can replace it by a slide to the 5th fret. And I've seen Del Rey do it like this. She probably plays with such heavy strings that she's not able to do that bend. So I'll play it now with a slide. Sorry. It's twice the same, and you have the choice of doing the bend or the slide. And then in the 9th bar, she does something unusual. Normally we should go to the 5 chord, the G, and then play maybe a bar of the F, the 4 chord. But she goes to the 4 chord first and then to the G, the 5 chord. Unusual, well, it's the first time I've seen this. But it works. And sometimes these artists do things that, well, we good educated people wouldn't do, and they just did it, and I think it's kind of cool. Again, very horn-like. So we had in the 8th bar that C7, and then we're going to an F, and I'm just fretting the bass, 6th string 1st fret with my thumb wrap, and I'm using my index finger to cover the 2 strings and play the licks there. And my 2nd finger when we go to the 2nd fret. And I see in the tab I omitted 1 bass note in the 3rd beat, but it should be there, so don't send me an email. Why don't you play that bass there? And I'm playing that with the index. Except that here I'm playing it with the 2nd finger. But I don't often, well, let's say, teach which fingers to use, because that's something very personal, and you should do whatever is comfortable for you. I've seen guitarists playing with the 2nd and 3rd finger, and never the 1st finger. They simply curled up, and they play, well, just like anybody else, and so it's possible. It's just a choice you make. So, one more time. And then to a G chord. sliding that a little bit. And that last note we have in our, we go to our C chord. That's pretty straightforward. And that 4th fret section, you can bend that slightly, and you have the choice to play triplet there. It's rather fast, or simply play 2 notes. And that, it's a hammer-on. I didn't indicate that in the tab. And this takes a bit longer, and then you hammer on. So that's it for Railroad Blues. A cool tune and some cool licks. So have fun with it and listen to Memphis Minnie. She has great songs. A pity she didn't record. This is one of the few songs she recorded solo, so without any of her husbands accompanying her. She's also, of course, I think, best example of playing duets in country blues, especially the older recordings till I think 1936-7, when she recorded with Kansas City Joe, her first husband. And in those recordings, they both finger-picked, and often in different positions. And so there were really tight arrangements. Her second husband, little son Lawless, he was not a great guitarist. He simply played like that, strumming as a backup guitarist. And I think those recordings are a bit less interesting. Although also there are some good ones, like for example the Chauffeur recording, which is was a very great hit for her. So have fun with this and keep on picking.